What's up, guys? I'm gonna teach you how to play Magic the Gathering. Today I'm gonna use Twinkle Mod Bars, which is my strongest commander. So, otherwise, let's get started on this video. First, if you have one build commander like this one that I'm showing, first you take all of your tokens along with your commander. This is something I normally do or have. I normally have my commander on one side, then my deck on the other. But because of how I have my mana, I will end up have all my sleeved cards in the library area, as you could see, and my commander along with my tokens in the command area. As you could tell, I have shuffled my library, which is known to be a deck in Magic the Gathering. I just have it like this just for a review on how I shuffle mine. Then before every match, someone will have to cut your library. This one was my top half. This one will be my bottom half. So I have it in two piles. I will put my bottom half on the top half. So now I have my library backwards as. Now I'm gonna end up drawing 7 cards. 5, 6, 7. As you can see, I only have one land's in my whole hand. So normally what I would do is top 3 if I don't get any lands, or if I get one more lands like I'm showing, might as well reshuffle, have someone cut your library. If you want to play risky one, just make sure to take out 3 cards from your original hand and have it 2 in his hand. And now I'm gonna put all 10 of these cards on top of my library so I could reshuffle. I'll be right back. I'm gonna pause this video right now. If you guys wanna pause it and review this depths that's on my mask, go right ahead. As you could tell, I just got done. I don't think you guys noticed. Otherwise, now I'm gonna show how to cut for those who are new. First, you take at least half set down in a different area as a different pile. This is my top once again. This is my bottom. I'm gonna put my bottom half on top of my top half. Then move it back to its library spot. Now I'm gonna draw seven cards. As you could tell, I always have one card leading to my infinite combo. I need my commander along with this card to allow me to search for my library to find a card called Skirk Prospector, which that allows me to sacrifice a goblin to add 1 red mana to my mana pool. As you could tell, I only have 2 lands, 2 mountains. So I'm gonna top 3. This one's a good card to add into commanders that does damage, either based off of making opponents draw cards, or dealing damage in general, like this card does, which as long as I cast my 3rd cards each turn has to be cheap. This triggers, which this will trigger each turn only on my turn to have it get a 1/1 counter, which means its power and toughness will get stronger. Then with the damage equal to its power to any target. I'm gonna set that back with my original unsleeved commander goes to. As you could tell, if I wanna scoop my hand, put it back into my library, I could. For this one, I'm not going to, because of Goblin Matron, which allows me to search my library for a goblin cards, including Skullclamp, which essentially will allow me to draw 2 cards if a creature dies, which if you have 1/1 tokens or 1/1 cards that is useful at the beginning, that is useful once they enter, then becomes useless once they have been done with their ability. Go right ahead, use these, clamping onto a creature, which will allow you to draw 2 additional cards that turn. And if you wanna possibly try to get one more land, for me, I'm just gonna do this risky, which I have done this before, and I have not won most of the time. Otherwise, I don't have anyone to play with me, so I'm gonna grab my other mat and do the same there. There we go. This one is my zombies. So whenever I have a zombie die, if it does not have decay, I create a 2-2 with one. And what decay does is that if a zombie or another creature with decay has this ability, it will not be able to block, and whenever it attacks, you have to have it sacrificed at the end of combat. For this one, I already have 3 lands: Dimmer Aqueduct and 2 islands. There are 5 lands in this version of the game. For this one, you have to have at least 1 land on the battlefield. You could only play 1 land per turn, each of your turn, I should say. So if I played this island's last turn, then this turn I will have the option to play Dimmer, bouncing this island back to my hand. Like I said before, you could only play 1 land on each of your turns. As you could see now, I have 1 mountain on fields alongside with this gold camp. I did have this size of the whole field start first, so goblins will start first. And before I pause the video again to do more things, I will show you where the names will be located, which for this one, you could see its name, Crinkle Mod Boss, on the top left corner. This is the mana value. That's how much mana you always have to pump into, which is the one that I'm showing. And each lens will show a symbol. Normally this is from a different set. Right now it's the symbol will show in a different location. It will also say if it's basic or non-basic and so what type it is. For this one, if you see this symbol that is from a set called, oh god, why am I spacing out? I'll be back. This one's from Wilds of a Train. Sorry about that. I had to hop off real quick to think, which wasn't too long. This symbol means that this lens was from Wilds of a Train. There are different symbols meaning from a different size or the same size. So for this one, if you see one, that means colors. So before I play this card, I will have to tap one mana. It could be any one color. Sorry about that. My voice was in the camera for a split second. Otherwise, this one's a mountain, which means I'm able to tap this for either one red or one colors if I so choose. Fuzz, which means I am one cheaper now of bringing Crinkle to the battlefield, which I do not have his outsource now. For those who don't know, this card is my commander, and this has to be a legendary creature in order to be your commander for a brawl, or actually doing commander. Brawl and commander are both similar but different. Commander, you would start with 4Z life, and brawl, you would start with 25, which you would see in one of a couple of my videos that I have posted on my channel. Other than that, I have more than 2 commanders, but 3 of them I still need to upgrade. The one that I just showed, that's my strongest, with Crinkle being my commander. So with this card, I essentially will be able to tap this to pretty much double the amount of goblins I have. So if I have, like, let's just say Goblin War Chief, Goblin Chieftain, or Goblin Goon, I will be able to create 4 more 1/1 goblins, which will be known to be a token, 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. You'll be able to create 4 of those, because if you have 3 goblins out there, 4th being your commander, you could form one once. As you could tell, I now have 2 lands, which means I'm just 2 mana cheaper of playing this card that I'm showing. But the problem is, I will not be able to play anything this turn. Okay, this is now turn number 2, so I will draw a card. Looks like it's a sowing. So what I will do now is tap 1 blue to play this sowing. Then play dimmer, which will enter tapped, bouncing my island back to my hand. So now, next turn, which will be turn 3, commander time. Dimmer taps for 1 blue and black, and the sowing, which is 1 cheaper, would tap for 2 colors. This sowing is known to be an artifact, which artifacts that taps for mana like this are known to be mana locks. So now I cannot play anything else, so back off to turn 3 for the other side. Turn 3, I would draw Wings of Blizzard. So now I have 1 mana that I could play, so I will end up playing that. So now I have 3 mana I could spend, which I'll end up tapping 3 of my mountains, playing this card, allowing me to play, or at least search my library for goblin cards. I will now pause the video if you want to read this card for seconds or 2. Here is Goldclap if you're curious of what this does. For those who are new, advice for the ones who knows how to play this, you can just go as ahead and just continue the video if you want to. Here is Gurk, one of the cards I need for my combo. Now I'm back to this size again. Before I do anything, my first step will be my untap step. So essentially, Dimmer Aqueduct, which would be tapped, will become untapped. Then I would draw a card. Looks like this one's Grave Crawler. Let me count my hands real quick. I have 7 cards in hands right now. So this turn, I am able to play only 1 land this turn, unless you have a card that says otherwise. My dad has a landfall deck where he has cards that allows him to play additional lands on each of his turns. That's right, as long as the card says you may play additional lands. If it does not say that, then no additional land can be played. Only 1 land per turn, like I said earlier. So now I have 2 lands. One of them taps for blue and black and sowing, which this is how I normally do it. You don't have to do the way that I do. Is that I would tap my colors once first, like this sowing. Then if I have enough mana, for me I will tap Dimmer. This won't happen all the time, and yes, you may immediately play your commander off the bat. If you want to, and if you have enough mana. Otherwise, if you have other cards in hand, like for me, this is 7. There is some cards that was hidden or might be hidden under other cards. That's I just chose. And yes, this is my hand. Otherwise, there are cards out there like this that forces players to be dealt damage, lose life, gain, so on, so on. Now, before I continue, let's just say your opponent drew your whole library. Your opponent makes you discard your makes you put your whole library into a graveyard before your turn starts. Then that will force you to forfeit the game unless you have some odd way for you to play cards on your turn, on your upkeep, which this is right before you draw, for you to shuffle your library, shuffle your graveyards into your library. I do know one card that does that. that's learned from the past. It makes you essentially shuffle your whole graveyard into your library. If it fits in your hand, then after you're done shuffling your library, you just draw cards off the bat. So now I have Wellhouse, House on Fields, which there I don't want to do anything. Now I'm back, so now untap my lands. I would draw a card for a turn, then I would have to put into my hand. But since this one I topped out, I will essentially play this, and before anything gets done, I will essentially end up playing Skirk, which this is the card I was talking about. Sacrifice a goblin to add 1 less mana, then buy Goblin Matron, which this is what I sometimes do, is that I may sacrifice a goblin to add 1 mana to Skullclamp another creature, but I don't want this card to end up dying, so I will leave it the way it is. So untap, upkeep, no upkeep trigger, draw my first swamp, land number 3, so I'll end up will be tapping 1 black to play Gravecrawler. You're able to sacrifice this at the end of your end step from Wilhelm with the Rock Cleaver. So I will enter combat now, which is my 3rd step. I will swing with Wilhelm's. That would be for 3. Now I have a choice of sacrificing this card, which most likely will. So for blocking, this is a 3/3 I am swinging, which since this is Commander, I will also be dealt Commander, which 21 or more Commander, I'm out of the game, which for me, I will use Goblin Matron, blocking it, which will lead straight into the graveyard. So now I have swung. I'll enter end step. Will trigger, allowing me to sacrifice Gravecrawler. So now I have 1 because of its ability. If I sacrifice a zombie, I will also get to draw a card. only as long as I sacrifice a zombie at the end of my end step. So essentially I will end up drawing 2 cards per turn. So now I'll place one with decay. This is what decay does. Cannot block when it attacks. Sacrifices at the end of combat. Most of the cards like this will show what specifically cards like abilities does, like decay. You could also see what decay does on here too. You could also tell what creature type is by looking at the type right above my thumb. So if you want to pause the video, figure this one out, go right ahead, which by now you should know that this is a zombie warrior, as is shown right above my thumb. So now I'm back on this side. I will untap, upkeep, no upkeep trigger, so I will draw Goblin Goon, which I think this is the card that I was kind of talking about. So now the best idea to play right now is Cop. That's what I think should be played for now, is so that's what you're able to place to it. This one is a Planeswalker, as you could see right above my finger, and it will also show its actual name on the Planeswalker. Since I'm plus 2ing this Planeswalker, I will be searching my library for a mountain, and you feel it, then put it into my hand, which this will also mean it will be one cheaper for me to do stuff. As for right now, till someone decides to kill it, which since I now have one Planeswalker out, anyone that I'm playing with now will be able to either target me or this Planeswalker I'm showing now. So back to the side, since I only have 1 mana tapped, I want tap, draw. This one can be a good one to play since I have a swamp. I would just set that aside to play a swamp. I do have one card that I'm able to play for my graveyard, which I will by tapping 1, playing Grave Crawler again. So now I'm gonna end up tapping my last swamp and dimmer to play this Death Baron skeletons and other zombies I control will get a +1/+1 alongside with Death Touch. So now whenever I swing with one of my 4 zombies, I will be all set and will be able to freely swing for damage if my opponent decides to not block it. So untap, upkey, draw another mountain. So play it. So now I'm gonna tap all to play this little fella, Horsing Dragon, which now I have that combo. I just need to find a way to destroy this. Or if my opponent decides to, they could end up sacrificing something to excel this, or if they have a card where they can just excel this immediately, I will not be able to either search. I don't think I will be able to search for artifact, or if I did, I will not be able to play this anytime soon, because that will also be exiled under this card, like I will show in a sec. Voila! As shown now, I have another piece to my combo, Thornbite Staff, which now I just need to find a way to sacrifice Horsing Dragon without it getting exiled, so that way I'm able to return Thornbite Staff to my hand. So now I don't think I need to explain this anymore. For untap, but I swap those two around. So I'll play Taunta's Isle now, which I will swap out with Dimmer. This is just so you guys know what they do, which I would recommend having those two not be right on top of each other, kind of like I did earlier, or just a moment ago. So I want tap, upkey. This is the cards I drew. This is the lands I plays. So now I have the ability to play these 3: Champion of the perished Tomb Tyrant Leonis Stofosi and or Unbreathing Core, which for this one you're able to play this turn if you want, but I would recommend playing this on a later turn, mainly because of what it does. It gets a 1/1 counter for each other zombie you control and each zombie that is in your graveyard when this enters the battlefield. So that's the ETB effect. Enter the battlefield. It gets a 1/1 counter for each other zombie you control and that is in your graveyards. So always save that next to my other island that I have set aside. So I would recommend playing this card immediately or as soon as you can, because whenever another zombie enters under your control, it will get 1/1 counter, so that will enter. 1, 3. Oh, now play Leonis Stofosi, giving all their zombies +1/+0. And at the beginning of mine stuff, if a creature died this turn, I may pay 1 and a black. If I do, I create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, which now tap my last 4 mana, which was my last 3, to play Tomb Tyrant. Other zombies I control get a +1/+1. I may tap 3 and black. To tap this, to sacrifice a creature, return a zombie creature as random from my graveyard to the battlefield. Activates only during your turn and it's only if there are at least 3 zombie creature cards in your graveyard. That's gonna be that. Make sure to subscribe and select the video if you want to learn more. I will post 2 more tomorrow, so go right ahead, watch some of my videos. I will be back to finish this game, and sorry if my room's a mess. I will try to pick it up as soon as possible. Peace out. See you all tomorrow.